People often think choosing between a dog and a cat is just a preference. But for many, it quietly reflects the kind of emotional environment they feel most comfortable in. And here's the hook. Some people feel naturally at ease around dogs because of the emotional clarity dogs bring into their lives. Before going further, ask yourself, if you had to choose one pet for life, dog or cat, what would you choose and why? Comment your answer below. Your reasoning reveals more than you think. Dog-preferring individuals often describe a sense of warmth or grounding when they're around dogs, not because dogs are better, but because their behavior tends to be more outwardly expressive. For many people, that emotional openness feels reassuring. This isn't about past trauma or emotional weakness. Sometimes it's simply the way someone's internal wiring aligns with the kind of connection a dog gives: direct, present, easy to read. In financial psychology, Jesse Livermore noted that people perform better when feedback is clear. That idea quietly applies here too. Some individuals enjoy emotional environments where signals are easy to interpret. A dog's excitement, affection, or attention doesn't require decoding, and for many people, that's comforting, not dramatic, just human. But beneath this preference, many dog lovers carry a subtle inner conflict. They enjoy emotional openness, but human relationships aren't always that simple. They may value closeness but feel uncomfortable when communication becomes vague. They may enjoy connection but find it tiring when others send mixed emotional messages. This doesn't apply to everyone, but some dog-preferring individuals simply feel more relaxed in environments where emotional expression is straightforward. For them, a dog's presence reduces the emotional guessing game that sometimes happens in human interactions. It's not because they fear complexity, but because they appreciate clarity. There's a subtle psychology trap people sometimes fall into when someone becomes used to very clear emotional signals. Unclear signals can feel emotionally draining. This doesn't mean dog lovers avoid complexity. It simply means they may feel uncomfortable when communication becomes too indirect or inconsistent. They might prefer friendships where honesty is open. They might gravitate toward partners who communicate directly. And they may feel uneasy when people shift moods without explanation. This isn't weakness, it's preference. Therapists note that people who prefer dogs often appreciate environments where emotional expression is simple and visible. They tend to value responsiveness. They often enjoy relationships where affection is easy to sense, and they usually feel energized by companionship that feels mutual. But experts also emphasize that dog-preferring individuals aren't a single personality type. Some are introverts, some extroverts, some analytical, some emotional. What they share is a comfort in connections where intentions feel relatable and accessible. Consider Maya, a graphic designer living in Seattle. She's independent, calm, and observant, someone who enjoys meaningful conversations, but hates emotional guessing. After moving to a new city, she often felt lonely, not because people weren't friendly, but because everything felt surfacely. Work. Conversations were rushed. In her building, people were polite, but distant. One afternoon, while walking to get coffee, she noticed a neighbor training a young dog. The dog stumbled over commands, wagged too hard, and kept looking back at the owner for approval. Maya smiled. There was something refreshingly honest about that. Days later, she adopted her own dog, not out of desperation, not out of loneliness, but because she wanted something emotionally real in a city that often felt emotionally thin. That decision didn't fix her life. It simply added a form of companionship that felt grounding. People who prefer dogs sometimes struggle during moments when human relationships become unclear. A friend becomes distant, a partner becomes silent, or a colleague becomes unpredictable. In those moments, some dog-preferring individuals feel overwhelmed, not because they can't handle emotions, but because unclear communication forces them to guess motives. This can create quiet self-doubt. Did I do something wrong? Are they upset? Why did the mood shift? It's not fragility, it's sensitivity to emotional tone. Everyone has a different threshold. Dog lovers simply notice emotional shifts a bit earlier. So breakthrough comes when they realize not all unclear communication is rejection. Sometimes it's just human complexity. Dog-preferring individuals thrive when they learn to balance emotional clarity with emotional flexibility. They don't need relationships to be predictable. They just need them to be honest. Livermore once said that reading signals is important, but expecting perfect clarity is unrealistic. Emotionally, the same applies. In today's fast-paced American lifestyle, people often feel overstimulated, yet emotionally underfed. Screens distract, conversations get shorter, and people become harder to read. A dog creates a small emotional space where things feel simple again. For many, that's a refreshing counterbalance to modern life. Dog lovers can use that grounding energy in their human relationships too, bringing honesty, presence, and stability into interactions that might otherwise feel rushed. Many dog-preferring individuals naturally bring warmth into their social circles. They check in on people. They show up consistently. They often value loyalty and reliability. These traits are not universal, but they're common enough to notice. Their preference for dogs isn't about avoiding humans. It's about valuing authenticity. They gravitate toward bonds that feel sincere, not performative. In the end, the question isn't why someone prefers a dog over a cat. The deeper question is what that preference reflects about the emotional environment they feel most at home in. For many, dogs represent a space where connection feels effortless, not perfect, not dramatic, just sincere. And if someone prefers that kind of emotional rhythm, it doesn't define them. It simply highlights what they appreciate most in connection: honesty, warmth, and presence.